All right, everyone, let's dive right in and get those resumes ready for those massage therapist interviews. We've got some pretty great resources lined up for you today. We've got a career guide that is full of great info and a whole interview guide, too. Plus, there's tons and tons of sample questions. So you're in a really good place right now if you are prepping for a massage therapist interview.
Yeah, and we're going to break all of that down for you so that you can feel really confident going into that interview.
I like it. So before we jump into the interview questions, I think it'd be good to kind of get a picture of what a massage therapist does. So according to the career guide, a massage therapist is basically a healthcare professional that uses touch-based techniques to help people relax and ease their muscles and improve their well-being overall.
Yeah, they're using a variety of techniques: Swedish massage, shiatsu, a whole range of techniques that they're going to customize for each client's individual needs.
So not only is it a really interesting hands-on job, but the job outlook is pretty great. We're talking way faster than average growth. The career guide says 21% projected growth rate from 2019 to 2029. So if you're just starting out, that's great news for you.
Absolutely. There is definitely a demand for skilled massage therapists.
But like any job, I'm sure there are pros and cons. What are some of those that are highlighted in the career guide?
Well, some of the pros that come with being a massage therapist are the flexibility. You're really helping people. And there's the potential to be self-employed. But some of the downsides are, it is physically demanding. You need to have strong communication skills. And the income can be inconsistent, especially when you're first starting out.
So just like any job, go in with your eyes wide open.
Absolutely. But the whole point of this deep dive is to give you a leg up in that interview process. And that's what we're here to do today.
Let's tackle some of these questions and kind of strategize how to answer them. The first question is pretty straightforward. Tell us about your experience in the massage therapy field.
It does seem straightforward, but this is your chance to set the stage. They want to see your enthusiasm. They want to know about your journey and how you've come to be the massage therapist that you are.
So how should our listener approach this question?
Definitely highlight any certifications or licenses you have to prove your expertise. But, don't just give them a dry list of schools and jobs. Bring your experience to life a little. Talk about if you volunteered at a health fair, if you specialize in prenatal massage, or if you've honed your skills in something like myofascial release.
So it's really about telling your story and showcasing your unique skill set.
Yes, and don't forget about those soft skills. You want to communicate clearly and with passion.
What kind of follow-up questions should someone be prepared for after this?
They might ask you about your favorite modalities, or the type of clients you most enjoy working with, to see if you'd be a good fit for their clientele.
Okay, great. Now let's move on to how do you ensure client comfort and safety during a massage? This seems like a pretty standard question, but what's the interviewer really looking for here?
They're really looking for professionalism and attention to detail. You want to reassure them that your client's well-being is your top priority.
So how should the listener approach this one?
Start by saying that you always discuss health concerns and preferences before each session. And, be sure to mention the practical steps you take as well.
Like what?
Like using proper draping techniques, adjusting the pressure based on client feedback, making sure you're using proper body mechanics to prevent injuries. And be sure to mention any specific protocols you follow, especially if it's a clinical setting.
So it's all about painting that picture of a safe and comfortable environment where clients feel cared for.
Exactly. And be prepared for scenario-based questions as well, like how you would handle a client who expresses discomfort during a massage.
Okay, so let's move on. How do you handle difficult clients? Now, everyone's had to deal with a difficult person at some point, but in massage therapy, you're working in a personal space. So how do you show that you can stay professional under pressure?
It's all about showing that you have emotional intelligence and that you can problem solve.
So how should our listener approach this?
Start by explaining that you always try to remain calm and composed, even if you're in a difficult situation. Then explain that you try to understand the client's perspective. Maybe they're in pain, or they're feeling stressed, or maybe they're just having a bad day. The point is to show empathy.
While also setting boundaries.
Right. You could also offer alternative solutions if needed.
And let's say the situation escalates. What then?
You could mention that you would seek guidance from a supervisor if you felt unsafe.
Okay, good to know. Now let's move on to question number 4. How do you stay current on developments in the massage therapy field? Massage has been around forever, but I'm guessing things have changed a bit. So how do you show the interviewer that you're committed to lifelong learning?
Be specific. Don't just say that you like to learn new things. Tell them if you attend workshops and conferences, subscribe to publications, participate in online forums, or webinars. The career guide even mentions that attending workshops and joining professional associations are key.
It sounds like it's all about showing that you're passionate and proactive about it.
And be prepared to give a specific example. They might ask you about a recent development in massage therapy that you found interesting.
Okay, on to question 5. Can you describe a particularly challenging massage session you have had and how you handled it? What are they looking for with this question?
They want to see that you can think on your feet and that you can problem solve and that you're dedicated to client satisfaction.
So how should someone approach this question?
Think about situations where you had to adapt or improvise, or maybe you had to go the extra mile for someone, and think about what you learned from the experience and how you applied that lesson to your practice.
So you want to end on that positive note.
Right. And just be prepared for some follow-up questions like, what did you learn, or how have you applied that lesson?
Okay. Question number 6 is, how do you handle a client who becomes emotional during a massage session? Now, this seems like a delicate situation.
It can be, because massage is a personal experience, so this question is all about showing empathy and showing that you can navigate those delicate situations while still maintaining professional boundaries.
So how should the listener approach this one?
I would start by acknowledging that emotional releases can occur during a massage. It happens, it's natural, and explain that you create a safe space for clients to express themselves without judgment.
Without trying to fix anything.
Right. And be prepared for follow-up questions on how you create that calming environment.
Okay, great. Next is, can you describe your approach to developing a treatment plan for a client? This one seems like it's all about tailoring your approach to each individual.
Right. Every client's needs are going to be different. So you want to show that you aren't just going through the motions. You understand that, and you take a thoughtful approach to their care.
So where do we even begin with answering this one?
You want to really emphasize the importance of the intake process. That's how you get all the information you need to develop a treatment plan.
So health history, injuries, lifestyle.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of observation. Notice their posture, their gait, any tension. It shows that you're paying attention.
It's more than just listening to what they say. It's about seeing what their body language is telling you.
And after you gather all of that information, you explain how you're going to select the techniques based on their needs. So, Swedish massage for relaxation, deep tissue for chronic tension, trigger point therapy for specific pain points.
So it's about showing that you have the knowledge.
And that you know when to use it.
All right. Question 8. Can you describe your experience working with clients who have chronic pain? That seems like a really specific area of massage therapy.
It is. So they're looking to see how comfortable you are with that population. Be upfront about your experience level. And even if you don't have a ton of experience working with people with chronic pain, you can still emphasize that you are dedicated to learning about pain management strategies.
And regardless of how much experience you have, you want to emphasize that you take a holistic approach to treating them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because chronic pain impacts their entire well-being.
Right. It's not just physical, it's also mental and emotional.
And you want to show that you would work collaboratively with other healthcare providers as well.
Now for question 9. How do you approach working with clients who have limited mobility or physical disabilities? I feel like this one's all about being adaptable.
Yes, it is. They want to see that you're comfortable working with all kinds of people.
So how can the listener convey that?
I would start by explaining that you would have a very open and honest conversation with the client about their needs, and then explain how you would adapt your techniques and the environment to make sure they were comfortable. So you might use a different table or adjust the positioning. Maybe you need to incorporate specialized tools.
So it's about thinking outside the box.
And being patient and sensitive.
Okay, so the last question for today is, can you describe a time when you had to problem solve during a massage session?
With this question, they really want to see how you think critically and how you adapt to unexpected situations.
What are some examples that our listener could use?
It could be anything, really. A client having a muscle spasm, maybe they had a reaction to the oil, or a piece of equipment malfunctioned.
So it's about demonstrating that you can handle anything.
And, just like the other questions, be prepared for some follow-ups. Like, What did you learn from that experience? Or how do you prevent it from happening again?
Okay, wow. We have covered a lot. But don't worry, we're not done yet. We'll be right back to explore how RoleCatcher's AI can help you prepare for your interview. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We just went over a bunch of those common interview questions and give you some good strategies to really impress those hiring managers. But now I think it's time that we talk about RoleCatcher's AI.
Yeah, you know how we mentioned that AI advantage earlier? This is where we really unlock that power.
I am intrigued. How can AI help me land my dream massage therapist job?
So let's say you spend hours making the perfect resume and CV, highlighting all your amazing skills, but then how do you know if it's even going to resonate with recruiters? Especially with all those automated systems they use to scan for keywords.
Yeah, you're right. It sometimes feels like you're just sending your application off into a black hole.
Exactly, and that's where RoleCatcher can really help. Their AI analyzes those job descriptions and finds the specific skills and keywords that those employers want, and then it guides you to tailor your resume and your CV to match.
So it's like having a secret weapon.
It's like having a personalized career coach.
Who knows exactly what those hiring managers are looking for?
Exactly.
So it's not just about stuffing your resume with keywords. It's about showcasing your experience in a way that makes them want to hire you.
And it gets even better. RoleCatcher also helps you prepare for the interview itself.
Wait, really?
How? Well, you know all those sample questions we talked about? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you come up with personalized answers, so you're giving the best possible answers for that specific job you're interviewing for.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So you can really highlight the skills that matter most.
And there's more. They even have AI-powered video analysis.
What's that?
You can record yourself answering practice questions and then get feedback on things like your delivery, your body language, even your tone of voice.
Oh, wow. So it's like having an interview coach right in your pocket.
It gives you all the tools you need to nail that interview.
So RoleCatcher sounds amazing. But at the end of the day, it's still up to me to showcase my personality and passion.
Of course, the AI can help you prepare, but it's your unique qualities that are going to make you stand out.
All right, so how about we go back to that career guide and see what other insights we can find in there.
One thing that stood out to me was the section on career stages. It outlines the typical progression for a massage therapist.
So from junior to senior.
Yeah, and even management roles.
So how can knowing that help me in an interview?
Well, it gives you context. So, for example, if you're a new therapist, you can highlight how excited you are to learn and take on new challenges. But if you're more experienced, you can emphasize your leadership skills or any specialized training that you have.
So I need to frame my experience in a way that makes sense for the job I'm applying for.
Right. And no matter what stage of your career you're at, be sure to mention things like workshops and professional associations you're a part of, because it shows that you are dedicated to your craft.
Got it. Always be learning.
What else caught my eye in the career guide was the section on specialisms. There are so many different areas within massage therapy, like sports massage, prenatal, even oncology massage.
Wow. So how can knowing about these specializations help me in an interview?
If you can highlight any specializations you have, that will make you a stronger candidate,
Sure.
especially if the employer is looking for specific skills.
That makes sense.
So, for example, if you're applying to work at a spa that caters to athletes, you definitely want to mention that you have experience with sports massage.
I get it. It's about being the perfect fit.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the pros and cons section of the career guide.
Okay.
It really gives you a good picture of the rewards and challenges of being a massage therapist. And you might be surprised to hear this. But talking about those cons in an interview can actually be a good thing.
Wait, really? How?
It shows that you've done your research, you understand the job, and you're prepared for those
I
challenges.
shouldn't try to pretend that it's all perfect.
Right. Be honest and explain how you're going to overcome those challenges.
For example, I could talk about how I prioritize self-care.
Exactly. Because preventing burnout is so important.
Or I could talk about my budgeting skills.
Right. Because it's important to be prepared for those inconsistent paychecks.
Okay, so use those cons to my advantage.
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap up this section, I want to touch on the power of storytelling.
Yes. Stories are so important in an interview. They make your answers more engaging and memorable.
It's like that saying, show, don't tell.
Exactly.
So instead of saying, I'm a good listener, I could tell a story about a time when I really went above and beyond to understand a client's needs.
Or instead of just saying you're passionate about massage therapy, tell them about a specific moment where you saw the positive impact of your work.
It's about connecting with the interviewer on a personal level.
And remember, the best stories are authentic. So let your personality come through.
Okay, I'm ready to craft my massage therapist story.
And remember, This is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface of what RoleCatcher can do for your job search. So stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll give you even more tips to help you land your dream massage therapist job.
All right, welcome back to the final part of our massage therapist interview deep dive. We've talked about what the job is, we've gone over some tough interview questions, and we even learned how RoleCatcher's AI can help you prepare. So now we're in the home stretch. What are some final tips that can help someone really seal the deal in that interview?
Well, first impressions are everything.
Yeah.
Make sure you're on time, you're dressed appropriately, and you come prepared.
Okay, so being punctual and professional.
Right. You want to look neat and put together.
Mm.
But a suit is probably not necessary unless it's a really formal setting.
And what does it mean to be prepared?
Bring extra copies of your resume, a list of references, and any licenses or certifications you have.
Oh, and I always like to bring a notepad and pen, just in case I need to write something down.
That's a great idea. And let's not forget about body language. That plays a big role in how you come across in an interview.
So what should I do? Just stare the interviewer down?
No. Just make sure you have good eye contact. Give them a firm handshake when you meet them. And sit up straight with your shoulders relaxed.
And I should probably avoid things like fidgeting and crossing my arms.
Yes, those can make you seem nervous or closed off.
Okay, so be confident.
And enthusiastic. And remember all those stories we talked about earlier? Now's the time to use them.
Right. I could use those stories to show them who I am, instead of just telling them.
Exactly. And remember that the interview is a two-way street.
Oh, yeah. I need to remember that I'm interviewing them, too.
So come prepared with some questions of your own.
Like what?
You could ask about the company culture or what the team is like. Maybe you want to know about professional development opportunities.
Okay, so things that show I'm really interested.
Exactly. No matter how much you prepare, interviews can still be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for sure. How can I manage those nerves?
The best thing you can do is practice. The more you rehearse those answers, the better you'll feel. And don't forget to breathe. Take some deep breaths before you go in.
Okay, so preparation is key.
And believe in yourself. You've got this.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of our massage therapist interview. Prep deep dive. We've covered a lot of information today, and I hope you're feeling ready to go out there and rock those interviews.
Remember, you have amazing skills and a passion for this work. Let that shine through.
We're cheering you on. Good luck, Eastelt.